Most veterans think they need to run 5 miles a day to lose weight. Truth is, you don't. I'm going to show you how one of my clients lost 15 pounds without pounding the pavement every day or training like she was in selection or in ranger school or something. So I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist, exercise physiologist, run coach, and Marine veteran. For over 10 years, I've helped people, rehab injuries, ditch the pain, rebuild their discipline, and get back in shape. One of my past clients told me, I showed up, did the work with Dr. Ray, and it paid off. I can fit back into my old jeans from college. And today I'm going to show you exactly how you can drop the weight without destroying your knees, running endless miles. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 biggest weight loss myths veterans fall for. Plus, I'll walk you through what actually works using one of my former clients. So here's the hard truth. About 78% of U.S. veterans are overweight or obese, according to the VA. And that's way higher than the natural average. And carrying that extra weight increases your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. But here's the thing. It's not about weight loss isn't just about running more and more miles. It's about doing the right things. So let's bust some myths. So myth number 1 is that, you need to run 5 miles a day to lose weight. So where this comes from, right? If running 1 mile burns 100 calories. So in theory, 35 miles per week will lead to 1 pound of fat loss. And here, let me clear the air. For some people, that may work, right? If they're very disciplined. But here's the problem. Most people end up eating more when they start running more, right? Because they're hungrier. So you can still lose weight, even though you're eating more because you're running, but you're not going to be losing the actual 1 pound per week. It's going to be closer to maybe a half a pound or even a quarter pound per week. So it'll be a lot slower progress if you're just running alone and eating whatever you want. And so instead of, in theory, losing, let's say if you're trying to lose 15 pounds, in theory, it'd be 1 pound per week if you, actually didn't eat more than you actually to make up for the running. It'd be in 15 weeks. Instead, with the slower progress, if you just think you could outrun your diet and just run the miles without eating whatever you want, it could take up to closer to a year or more. So a better plan is to create a 500 calorie deficit between diet and exercise. So 250 calorie deficit from exercise, 250 calorie deficit from diet. So from exercise, it could be simple as a walk or a run for 2.5 miles. You do that 7 days a week. Or you can mix it up. One day you run, one day you walk, another day you do a 30-minute bike, a 30-minute swim, or a 30-minute ruck. That will create a 250 calorie deficit per day. And then you combine it with diet. So you cut back on 2 or 3 thumb-sized servings of fat, because 1 serving of fat is about 10 grams of fat, which is about fits in a thumb. Like think about like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter or so. So like 1 serving of fat would be like about 90 calories. So 3 servings, close to 300 is about 270 to be exact. So you combine the diet and exercise just by cutting out a little bit of fat from your diet. And then there you go. You get your 500 calorie deficit. And this is a more sustainable way. And you'll actually lose closer to the 1 pound per week. Now, yes, your results may be vary, but it's much more reliable than just relying on running or exercise alone to lose weight. And pro tip, combine your cardio with strength training. So cardio and strength training accelerates your fat loss and preserves muscle mass, because a big problem when you just run or do cardio alone, you lose the muscle mass. So if you want to maintain your muscle mass, do strength training and cardio. And further, strength training also helps improve your metabolism, muscles metabolically active, which helps promote your weight loss goals of trying to burn the fat. Myth number 2, all calories are created equal, right? You've probably heard other fitness professionals say, as long as you're in your calorie deficit, you can eat whatever you want, even Twinkies, because there was a famous Twinkie study where a guy just ate Twinkies, but it was a short-term study. Sure, the guy lost weight eating just Twinkies, but he was in a caloric deficit, but not all calories are equal. And, eating a junk food diet like just Twinkies alone, yeah, short term, it may work, but long term, you get nutrient deficiencies where you're not getting the nutrients you need, vitamins, minerals, long term, right, poor recovery, and long term metabolic issues. You can still develop like diabetes, even though you're technically in a caloric deficit. So the real weight loss needs nutrient dense foods, right? Protein, fruits, veggies, whole carbs, fuels that support your body, right? These types of food or fuel that helps you improve your health, not just starves you, right? Yes, you can starve yourself and just eat Twinkies, but overall, long-term, the study didn't explore long-term. And I can tell you from personal experience working with folks that people who still eat junk food, even though they're in a caloric deficit, they still can have health issues later on. So the better way is eat healthy foods, right? You don't have to be a complete vegan, right? But have fruits and veggies, have fiber, healthy protein, right? So if you want to eat meat or stuff, have lean protein choices like a lean cut of beef, right? So like 90% a lean grass-fed beef, or even 85%, right? And then a lean chicken breast, right? Don't get the fried chicken. So that was their myth number 3. Supplements are the shortcut. So many people think that, hey, I just got to take a one magic pill or bullet of medication or supplement and that I'm just going to lose fat. And I understand from the medication side of things, you got all these peptides that are all the craze. And let me tell you too, you have to be on these peptides for a bit to, yes, they may work for you, these peptides or medications, but once you're off it, a lot of people regain it. And oftentimes they're on it long term, and we still don't understand the long term side effects for that, like things like Ozempic and all these other related drugs. And then from the supplement side of things, oftentimes they're unregulated. So they have certain stimulants or even illegal drugs in them that can cause side effects. I used to work in a supplement store, right? People would come in, buy their supplement month after month, and rarely making any results. There are people who did get results, but they're also combining with exercise or going to the gym and also changing their diet. See, the thing is, supplements aren't magic. At best, they assist. They're supposed to supplement a sound diet and training plan. But trying to rely on supplements alone is not a smart play. And again, many of these weight loss supplements, oftentimes they have side effects. Like they can speed up your heart because often they're high in caffeine or stimulants. And real results come from consistency in training and nutrition and not some pill or medication. Now, I'm not here to poo-poo on anyone who does take weight loss medication, right? If your doctor prescribed it and it's working for you, just know I still recommend combining that medication, whether you're taking these peptides like Ozempic or whatever, still combining it with diet and exercise. Don't just rely on the medication alone. So I want to share one of my past former clients, one of her success stories. Right, so I worked with this client online. She was a nurse, lived in Long Island. She wanted to lose 15 pounds, and she was also training for a half marathon. At first her plan was, I'm just going to train for the half marathon and the weight's going to come off. But I spoke to her, I told her, hey, that exercise alone is not the best strategy. Sure, it may help, but like I explained earlier, it's going to be a very slow process. Because, she was, I hate to say it, she just loved junk food, right? She was, not going to say addicted, but she just really loved her junk foods, her sweets, her ice cream, her cookies, and all these things, all the sweets that her patients would bring her out of her hospital job. I told her, instead of saying that you can never have your junk foods at all, I taught her the 80-20 rule. Eat clean 80% of the time, right? Follow the diet, healthy fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, have salads and things. And then, yes, 20% of the time, you can still have the occasional pizza or ice cream occasionally, but it shouldn't be, most of your day shouldn't be like you're having McDonald's every day of the week. So with the simple nutrition changes and structured training, she hit her goal. In 4 months, she dropped the 15 pounds, finished her first marathon, her half marathon that is, and kept her sanity without feeling deprived like she was starving herself, or like running her legs into the ground and causing overuse injuries from way too much running. So if you're a veteran who wants to lose weight or just train pain-free in general without wrecking your joints, check out the link in the description for free training on how to run and train pain-free. I'll show you how to build strength, reclaim your discipline, and drop weight the right way.